It's that time of year when we're all having fun, and of course we tend to overdo things, especially when it comes to the feasts, the food, the alcohol. We want to try and stop you from doing that. You know, just enjoy yourself within margins, just so that when January comes around, you don't regret it. Franza Cat from Pick and Pay Pharmacy is here to chat to us about that. Franza, what is it about this time of year that makes people just want to go overboard?
I don't know. You always tend to think, like you said, come January, I'll get back on my normal eating plan. I think it's just the festiveness of the season. And you don't want to sit with all your family that you haven't seen for a long time and there's all this wonderful food and they're not partake in it. But the problem is we overindulge.
Yes.
That's
Every
the
day
problem,
becomes
you
a
know?
pooza day. Every
you
day
actually
becomes a pooza day.
Yes, you're full from your meal, but you have to have the dessert and you have to have 2 or 3 bowls, you know, and that's when it gets to overindulgence. And hour later, you actually think, why did I eat so much? Because that's when all the symptoms come of overindulging.
But let's talk about those symptoms. I mean, these signs that you are overdoing it. And I think also in the latter part of the festive season where now January starts coming around, you start looking at yourself, you're like, I'm not looking so good anymore.
But even right at the time when you tend to overindulge, and usually the symptoms are when you do eat food that is very fatty.
Yes.
You can end up, you'll find that you've, you know, you feel bloated. Some people actually start getting indigestion, where you can get like a stabbing pain at the top of the stomach. Heartburn, I'm sure you know heartburn. We've all had the time where you feel that heartburn coming up your throat. So those are type of things that happen with overindulgence, and more so when you have a lot of alcohol now and lots of coffee and lots of, as we said, rich food, your liver can't cope with all of that. And that's when you start putting on the weight because it can't get rid of all the excess toxins.
Let's start talking about the more serious health consequences of this overindulgence period. So you say, for instance, your liver can't cope anymore. That's a very serious thing. What else can happen?
The thing is, basically, the liver has to take the toxins out, right? The heartburn, if that happens because you've had a nice meal for Christmas lunch and then after that you continue normally again, then it's okay. But if there are people that tend to overindulge constantly, and that is where the excess acid in the stomach starts affecting the lining of the stomach. You can end up with your valve between the esophagus and the stomach is affected and it doesn't close properly. So you get heartburn symptoms all the time and you have to then start taking tablets to counteract the excess acid that is released in the stomach. So if it becomes a long-term thing that you notice, hang on, but I'm having heartburn more than twice a week and I've got pain, upper abdominal pain, and if it's becoming frequent, then you actually need to go see a doctor.
And so speaking on those lines, what remedies are available out there?
Well, for now, for the festive season, it's always good to make sure that you have an antacid. Usually, when you've overindulged and you had a huge meal, lots of fatty stuff and lots of alcohol and things like that, especially New Year's Eve, you tend to wake up the next day with a headache. So we have very good liver remedies that we actually have on special at our Pick and Pay pharmacies right now till the 29th of December, so you can stock up. It's herbal remedies that help protect the liver if you do overindulge in whatever you partake in. And then to take an antacid, that will just counteract the acidity in the stomach and take away those symptoms. There are tablets that can help for the excess gas. So yes, I would say carry an antacid with you and stock up on some tablets that can protect your liver.
Do you have some practical ways in which people can maybe stop themselves from overindulging? Because I find that especially if you're sitting at a dinner table with a lot of people chatting and having conversation, you know, kind of keeps you from overdoing it, and before you know it, you feel full.
Because you know, it's when you sit down and you just eat very fast. It's almost as if your brain hasn't realized, but hang on, the stomach is full. And you just eat more than you should. Another thing also, we tend to, once you've had a big meal, you tend to feel quite drowsy. I remember as kids, we were so frustrated because after a big lunch, my parents would go to sleep.
Yes.
And we want to go swim and do all kinds of things, and we've got to wait for 2 hours because they're having their afternoon nap.
Yeah.
And that's usually what happens when you've had a big meal. But it's not good to be horizontal straight after a big meal because that actually pushes, the food pushes up.
Ah,
so,
and that's when,
yeah, be a bit more active.
Yeah.
You know, don't...
Engage in conversation, you know,
And when
find
you've
out
had
what
a big
people have been
meal,
doing.
go for a walk
Exactly.
and things like that, you know. So, and try and rather eat little bits instead of not having I normally do that. You have hardly any breakfast on Christmas morning. So you've got enough space for all that nice Christmas lunch and pudding. So yeah, rather space your meals, little bits, then you won't be that hungry.
Franza, thank you very, very
It's
much.
a pleasure.
And enjoy your festive season.
You too.
My number one top tip for not overindulging, especially when it comes to food, Instagram your food. That has a profound effect on your mind and how you perceive. Instagram your food. But right now, let's talk entertainment.
By supporting the Hoedspruit Endangered Species Centre, that's where we found goodness. Pick and Pay, always there for you.